Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Mariner of Spirit. I'm Greg. I'm your host, and we're going to start off tonight by going ahead and mention a few things that I like to try to get done before the show starts. I have a special guest tonight, Mr. Scotty Rourke. It's going to be a great show. I just want to mention a few things real fast. The different groups that I support. I have one that's called Potographs, and that's with some great people, and Tim Miley. And Tim Miley has done an awesome job. I don't know if he's going to continue now because he's got a lady friend, and who knows? I guess marriage is possibly in the future, so I don't know if he's going to continue to do his charity or not. But everything's fine on this end. So, Mr. Russell Reynolds, it's all go. We've got her, buddy. Thank you. So that Potographs, PKC Paranormal Kicks Cancer, Chris Kaskowski and Alex Wilkinson from down in Florida. They do benefits, haunted houses. They do things like that for Paranormal Kicks Cancer. It's a great organization. They've done a tremendous job, and I still haven't seen them now for about two or 3 years. So I'm looking forward to going ahead and getting together and connecting with them and having them back in the show. And then, of course, to round it off, it's the Jessica Petrie Foundation. And it's a resource for expecting mothers and families of pregnant women with mental illness. And that Jessica Petrie was the daughter of Howard Petrie from one of the other networks. And Howard is a great guy. And it's hard to believe, but he is running it, and if you can go ahead and help out, please do so. And I normally mention authors, but tonight I'm not going to mention them because I have a few that I wanted to go ahead and add on, and I will do that next week. And without further ado, I would like to go ahead and bring in my guest tonight, Mr. Scotty Rourke.
I do. Hey, Scotty. I do. You're using big words tonight.
Gosh, I don't even know how to spell it.
I don't either. ADOO. Ado.
Ado. Without further ado.
Okay, Tim Miley is going to continue. They're rebranded.
That's good.
They rebranded the Potographs. I'm going to be doing an event next March up in Upper Michigan with him, where I'm actually doing a gallery with 2 other mediums. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But yes, the Potographs are still going on. Him and his fiance are amazing, and love them both. I had him on my podcast, Paranormal Guys podcast. Neil Gibbons and I do a show now.
When did you start that?
I started it. We've been filming for quite a while, but we do it every 2 weeks as the shows come out. Graveside Paranormal. So Neil's out of I don't know, somewhere in Chicagoland. So
well, yeah. Before we get into anything else, why don't we go ahead and why don't you let everybody know exactly who Scotty Rourke is?
Let's see. That's the we have to go there.
Well, yeah. I mean, just the important parts that you're
kind of like Steve Martin did at one time. I was born a poor white child, and I don't know.
It's you're great. You're a light in the psychic medium circles.
Yeah, I'm Scotty Rourke. I'm a psychic medium. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. That's my homie town, and known Greg for quite a while now. So he's really good buddy of mine. So I'm glad to be here tonight. Really am. So I've seen spirits since I was 5 and or before, and that was in the mid mid to late 60s and early 70s. So that was not a time to see spirit in those days, you know. So um, and then when I told the kids that I met and I knew in school, I told them about it, and they were like, "Oh wow." Um, they are all freaked out, and a lot of them made fun of me, you know, really bad. It was really tough. And back then there was no TV shows to support you. There was no podcasts like this, no video vlogs or whatever you want to call them. We had no cell phones. We had no computers. We had no ways. We had a couple of TV shows, and that was about it. You know, In Search of, you know, but there wasn't much on, you know, of what we did. So, um, but yeah, that was a tough time. It was kind of funny because I just went to my 40th class reunion, and we were there, and everybody wanted to tell me ghost stories. You
Oh,
know,
really?
yeah, it changes after 40 years from them making fun of you to being the center of attention at the class reunion. So
Did you hand out numbers to them?
yeah,
So,
I did end up giving one of the star basketball players a reading after
oh, that's
the event. So
that's
he had
awesome.
he had his wife die,
Cool.
and she came to me there, and so it was kind of fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
So whose shaman is 15 minutes early? I keep seeing
Uh,
that on the screen.
that's Brandon Cooper.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's Brandon because it was on Twitch, and Brandon he was my producer, and now he's working with soldiers, with
Okay.
with military people, and so he's sort of on a sabbatical involved in that, and that's really his niche, and I consider that to be very respectful, considering all the stuff that he did. So,
Right.
and he's a great man too.
You know,
So
there's a way to click that so that comes off. You know, by the way, right?
which thing?
The 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 link, the shaman's early. Do you think?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I could. I was just leaving it up there just to go ahead and drive people crazy.
Yeah. Well, you did. You
That's
already
all.
got me. So, but that's I
Oh,
mean, so then if we're going back in the way back machine, um, so I ended up turning it off because I had just too many kids and too many people making fun of me back in those days. You know, a lot of times you would end up being, they were actually talking about a home for me. Mental institutions. All kinds of different things because it just didn't make sense in those days. Not, my dad didn't understand it at all, and mom just didn't understand. So I mean, she never like was negative on it like my dad was, but now that my dad's a spirit, everything's good. He understands it big time. So I know you've met my dad,
yes, I am.
right? A lot of people have, and he comes through and helps everybody now. So it's kind of fun. But overall, I mean, it was just tough. I mean, I turned it off. But then when I went to college, I went to University of Wisconsin at Oshkosh. I was getting a degree in theater, and I saw a full body apparition one day when I was working in the prop room, and I screamed and yelled because I opened the door and there was this lady just standing there, and I was like, ah, and all these kids like saw me, heard me, and they came running out to see what it was, and then I realized, oh, what an idiot! You just came out to everybody again. And that's exactly the time when Ghostbusters came out. So what's kind of funny about this whole thing was I saw the ghost, and then Ghostbusters came out, and they saw a ghost, and they screamed and yelled. So people were like going, so Ghostbusters, you probably took my idea. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, that's probably the way it was.
But I've since talked to Dan Aykroyd, and I've talked to Ernie Hudson, and I've thanked them for it. I mean, I did an event with Ernie, and we talked about it, and I almost cried the day Ernie finally, because we're at the booth and I'm doing readings and stuff, and Ernie's there on the. I mean, my booth's here. Ernie's is right next to me, right there, and so all these people come up to Ernie at these events, telling them ghost stories, and Ernie looks at him and goes, "Hey, I'm an actor. You know, I do this for get paid to act." You know, and then he looks over and he goes, "He's the real Ghostbuster." And I went, "Whoa, Ernie wants to call me a Ghostbuster." I was so happy. I still am.
Well, you know,
Call me a Ghostbuster.
it was always, you know, when you first got your machine together, it was really cool to be part of everything that was going on.
22, yeah.
And you know, the Ecto 22, and we were talking earlier before we came on, and I said that probably one of the most classic pictures I have is the one of you in Ecto 22 and me, and I think it was Mike Wright and Kathy Pera.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow. I think Nick was there too.
Yeah.
He was there too. And it was like, wow. I just keep on looking at that picture and I keep on going, you know, if I would have kept on going, I would have had a beard out to here.
Right down to there.
I would have looked like old man time or something.
Yeah,
but
you're the mariner of spirit. You know, you should have grown that beard way down to there.
Well,
me. You never know.
Down the road, we've got quite some time before Christmas, so we'll see what happens.
So do you have? Do you have a steering wheel in your pants? Because it's driving you nuts. Arrgh. Gar.
Holy cow!
You can use that.
Was pretty.
You're the mariner of spirit, man. I got all kinds of mariner jokes for you now.
Do you really?
No. I'll just make some.
That's awesome. So the boys are doing good. Terry's doing good.
Yeah, everyone in the family here is doing real good. The good thing is, you know, I've been having health problems this year. It's been a tough year. I've had 3 strokes, and thank God I've had no deficiencies yet. You know, so everything has been able to be healed. So I've been very, very lucky because most people don't do that. And then just lately, they found out what's been causing it. My heart goes into AFib. So they're going to go into my heart, do a heart surgery, and fix the one lobe that's it's super speedy fast. That makes the rest of the heart just jump out of thing. So they're going to do an ablation, and make that section of the heart not beat as much. And then
So when is that going to happen?
I don't know. So I go Wednesday for my final test, and because the final test has to say, "Oh, your heart is strong enough to have surgery," and so that's what I'm for on Wednesday. And then once there, I'll figure it out. And then hopefully this year, because I already paid my deductible for the year, so might as well.
Well, you know, that would be great, and you know, I'm sure that we'll all know ahead of time.
Yeah,
and we'll be on your side, praying for you. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I know that everybody that comes in here and the people that have been around, it's like it's unbelievable. You know what's happened since I started really going ahead and getting into this. You know, and it's been, you know, this show has been on for almost 6 years now. Oh, but wow. It had a different name.
Okay.
And so this one compared to the other one is the original one. I have the most fun with this one because, you know, I can invite.
Driving you nuts.
Yeah, you're right. I have the the great wheel and everything, and
the great wheel in the pants.
The helm. I have the helm.
That's one of my favorite pirate jokes ever. I don't care. I laugh so much with that. That's so funny. You got a steering in my pants. It's driving me nuts. Arr.
So the group you have your own group too.
We do. We started our own group with the Ecto now. We're actually listed on the Ghostbusters page out there. We are now officially the Mad City Ghostbusters. So we're not we're a cosplay group, of course, because we all dress up with all the Ghostbusters type of stuff. But we're also a paranormal investigation. We do paranormal investigating under Ghostbusters. So it would be like if the real Ghostbusters did real paranormal investigating. That's kind of what we are. So that's why I call it 22. By the way, too, is because most everyone does Ecto 1, Ecto 1A, Ecto 2, Ecto 3, just like the stuff off the movies. But I looked at it like, okay, if I was going to start my own Ghostbusters franchise, or I wanted my own Ghostbusters franchise, what would my number be? My spiritual number is 22. Anytime I see 22, I know everything's right, everything's going well for me. It's all perfect. So I said, why not name the car Ecto 22, and then that'll be based off our group. So everything on it is 22. But yeah, so we're the 22nd franchise, I say, of Ghostbusters. But we do paranormal investigating, we do parades, we do Make a Wish, we do all, you name it, parties, parades, events, paranormal.
Oh, I love it.
So.
And I'm a member. I'm a member of the group still. We haven't fired me yet, right?
You are, and Gail's in it with us, and Eric and Tyler and Liza, and so we got a good group of people in there. A lot of them all have gifts, so we use our spiritual gifts too. But we go in and we do paranormal investigating, so that's the best part. So, but here, when we're actually going to come to your house in an Ecto with the sirens blaring and the Ecto siren going, and come in your house to, work with your ghosts. So,
well, that'll be wild.
Yeah, I just got today from Ghost Stop. I just got in. I got my SB box 2, the new one they have, the new spirit box.
It's not. Well, they had the bigger one, the Pro.
No, it's about like this big. It's an SB2, they call it.
Really?
Yep. Just came out and I bought it.
Okay, so it's by them.
It's by Ghost Stop, yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
So Ghost Stop, I paid for it now. Where's my reimbursement? Come on.
they should be going ahead and sending you a whole box of those.
I want Quick Trip to sponsor me because I'm on the enthusiast page, the Quick Trip enthusiast Facebook page. I'm on that probably every week or every other week. I'm on a post on the Quick Trip page. I'm on it so much they need to just sponsor me. Ecto 22 sponsored by Quick Trip. So that would be cool.
Awesome.
So Quick Trip, if you're listening, come on. Let's talk.
So you want to let everybody know about the meetings that you have for Psychics Unite?
Psychics Unite, yeah. My wife Terry, she started a group called Psychics Unite, and Greg runs one of our online groups for us, so we're very happy with him. He's been able to run that for us why we've done the local stuff, and we still have a bunch of local groups. So, but Psychics Unite is a group of people that have abilities, don't have abilities, have questions about abilities, just wants some help, kind of like a support group for people with abilities. And it's great. I mean, it's a wonderful group. I mean, because like I said, when I was in the 70s, there was nothing around, and there's still not any groups other than Psychics Unite really out there that are here just to help people with their abilities. And really make them feel like they're a part of something, that everything they talk about is normal, instead of paranormal. It's just normal because it's just one of our other senses. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It's a great group. It really is. And you've done a tremendous job, you and Terry, going ahead and keeping it all going,
Yep.
and I'm always looking for somebody, and anybody that's interested in joining the one that's online like this on Zoom. All you have to do is reach out to me, and we'll go ahead and we'll have you
Send you the
on.
link. Yep.
And that's the best part, because we could talk so much about ourselves, but then to have somebody else come in, they could give us a little better perspective, not only on themselves but on us. Helps
Right.
us out tremendously.
It was kind of cool because the online group was actually because of the pandemic, and we all went there because we couldn't meet in person anymore, because we were meeting in person, many years before. But the pandemic says, and it stayed because people from around the country are in it now. We have people from Ohio all over the place, and so it's fun because everybody can still meet and see each other. And Zoom and StreamYard and all the others help us really make this a lot easier to meet. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's that was something that when you were getting it together, I can remember being there, and we were discussing things, and it was like, how is this going to work?
Right.
Really, because it's such a magnitude of ideas and individuals that come together, and
And that was the thing that I was worried about the most was, with the amount of ego, especially in the paranormal world and the spiritual world, is like, how's a group of all mediums and all spiritual people and all paranormal people going to work together? And really, it has tremendously, because everybody's there. The ones with the egos don't show up, because they just don't, and that's okay. Because here it's about everyone. It's about us growing and learning and feeling comfortable with each other and feeling comfortable in our own skins. It's a way for us to learn about different things. It's a way for us just to have fun with friends and acquaintances and meet. And our local group here in Madison has cookies, so you guys can come and have cookies with us. The online group, you have to bring your own cookies. So
right, you just throw them at the screen.
yeah, exactly.
So we were talking earlier before the show about the movies,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been in quite a few movies that I remember.
Yeah, I've been to a few. Yeah, it's been fun. I played with Scott Tepperman and Jim O'Rear. I played a character called White Lightning, who was a strip club DJ, and so yeah. But White Lightning showed up in 2 different films for them. So I had a cameo in one, and I had a part in the other. So it was kind of fun because Terry helped me write all the jokes for the first movie, for Nightblade. So I would play the strip club DJ. It was kind of funny. One of the producers of the show came up to me after they were filmed my set. He came up to me. He goes, "Oh, hey, you work for the strip club, right?" I go, "No." He goes, he goes, he goes, "No." He goes, "So what club do you work for?" I said, "I don't work for a club." I said, "I'm Scott Tepperman and Jim O'Rear's friend, and they asked me to be on the show." And I said, and all the jokes that we wrote ourselves, Terry and I. Terry did a lot of great job with the jokes. So, and so it was kind of funny. He was like, "Oh my God, I thought you were a real strip club DJ." I go, "No, but it was fun. It was great because I got to spend all day on set with naked girls. So everything was really kind of fun."
Naked girls.
Oh yeah, it was good.
Holy cow!
It was fun. It was fun because you knew the real strippers compared to the actresses. The actresses always put on robes after the thing. The strippers didn't care; they just walked around. They're like, so it was kind of fun.
Everybody was running in the door jams and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, everyone. Tim Miley was in that movie too. He was in my scene.
It's awesome because he's, all those, and I finally met those guys down at Robin Terry's Haunted Hour.
Yep.
I've seen them there a couple times. They were speaking, and this is when Tim and Tim Woolworth were there.
Oh yeah.
And I got a picture taken with them, and they were so much bigger than me.
Oh yeah, they're huge guys. They're big.
Yeah, and I looked like about a 12-year-old. It was pretty funny, but
See, now I'm going to tell everyone before we hear because it's 9:30 right now, and I said Greg got very lucky tonight because I gave up Hogan's Heroes just to be here on the show to talk with Greg tonight. So
everybody that knows anything about Scotty knows about his love for Hogan's Heroes.
Hogan's Heroes, yeah, one of my favorite shows of all time. But it's also a way for Spirit to know. And we talk about this a lot with students and people that I teach and in my classes and stuff. There is the thing that you have to learn how to kind of turn off. You have to turn off the spirits. And at 9 o'clock when Hogan's Heroes comes on, it's kind of a written rule. Any spirit that's still around me knows that when the Hogan's Heroes theme comes on, I'm done. I'm done for the night. No more trying to talk to me. No more talking to me in my sleep. I'm listening to you all day long, but at 9 o'clock we know it's time to shut down for the night. And what's really funny is because I talk to spirit all day long, my brain's always going, and by the time Hogan's Heroes is done at 10 o'clock, I pass out. I'm just but it's the fact I've turned off all the extra stuff. And that's the thing, you have to learn there's got to be time because you're in charge, not spirit. So they have to know that, hey, this is my time to stop. So everybody that needs to do this, you need to have a time when you can work, and then there's a time when you need to stop. I mean, that's paranormal investigating. That's my biggest thing is don't do EVPs in your own house.
Don't do any sessions.
No, I don't do any of that really, because unless you want them in your house. Do you remember Mark and Debbie Constantino?
Yes.
Okay. Two of my very, very dear friends. I ended up doing shows with them. We were going to do a whole slew of shows. And then Bill Chappell was at the one we did at Velasca X Murder House. And we were there, and and I ended up giving them readings privately around before. I mean, anyway, we're best friends. Anyway, I always told them I said, stop doing EVPs in your house. They go, oh, we got all this stuff happening in our house. I said, yes, because you're doing EVPs in your house. You're drawing the spirits in. So any spirit that knows that you're doing something will show up. You don't know who's going to show up. They're just coming because you're doing EVP sessions. I said, either do it outside in a specific location so that they happen just in this place, and because this is where you're drawing all the energy to, or don't do it anywhere close to home. Do it at a haunted location who definitely wants things to happen. So, and that was their biggest thing. They were like going, why are we having activity in our house? I said, it's because you're doing EVPs in your house, which you shouldn't be doing.
So we're gonna just take a minute here. I want to mention the people that are in the chat so that everybody can see. We got Kim Baranski, who works on the Wednesday show with us. We got Barbara Spear. That's Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
We got Anthony Slavos, and he is the founding member of the Texas Great Hunters. So he's the gentleman that took me on for that group. We got Danny Botts.
Hi, Danny.
Garcia.
Yeah.
We got Lady Mystic, the light worker. That's Donna.
Hi,
We
Dan.
got Linda Judd. We got Tracy Rizzo. We have Linda Kruger. Linda Kruger's sort of Danny Botz's better half.
Oh,
Not
is Danny Bots' better half. You should just
yep.
say it that way.
I got Brandon Cooper is here. That's good. Dark Horse Paranormal Productions. Kim, we got Nancy Noonan Kelly, great lady from up in Minnesota. You got Danny Botts again.
You're from Illinois, so shut up.
Illinois.
Illinois.
And Barbara Woodbury Spear and Kimmy Baranski again.
She's from Ohio.
Ohio. Yeah, she is. She's a great member of
Psychics Unite.
our group.
Yep.
And
it all started with her was from me giving her a reading, and then knowing that she had abilities, and she's come a long way. I mean, she really has. She's been able to really hone her skills, but it's because she knows now that other people trust her, and accept her, and that's the biggest thing in this whole thing, in anything, even in paranormal investigating. If you're accepted and you're loved, it's easy to keep doing this.
It's amazing. I think this is out of my whole long life to have gone ahead and gone in the direction and then run into you when I did. It took me in a totally, completely different direction.
It sure did.
I want to thank you for it. And, I hope that
you did all the work, Greg. You've done all the work. I just guide you. I just put you in the right direction and you do the work. But like I said, you have to do the work. It took you a while to decide, and it took you a while to figure out that you really had it. And then when you did, it just all of a sudden the stuff came to you, and it was like, whoa! And then it becomes fun because it's really happening.
It's amazing for those people that are watching. Most of them here are involved. They have gifts. Well, we all have gifts, but I
Everybody
mean,
you're right. Everybody has gifts. Yep.
There are some here that really, really, could go places. That's for sure.
But see, the thing is, I always say it's just like baseball. Everybody in the world can play baseball. Everybody has and everybody will. You play kickball, you play bar leagues, you play, people play in major leagues, some people play in the Cubs, some people play on the Brewers, you know what I mean? Everybody has played baseball. Not everybody can be in the Hall of Fame. So some people that are in the Hall of Fame should be teaching others how to do better. But with practice and with your gifts, because I'm not wired any different than anyone else. We're all wired the same. It's because I have accepted it and I've been dealing with it with almost all my life. And that's the difference. Once you accept it and you realize that it's here for a reason, we all have it. But once we accept it, and then what to do with it? Well, what to do with it is you're here to help others.
Go ahead.
No, I said that's the biggest thing is to help others. It's not about to make money. It's not about getting on TV. It's not about doing all the other things. It's actually about trying to help people, because that's why we have the gifts. Because we're here to help people guide and live a better life. I mean, we need to live this better life now than waiting for us to get ourselves to heaven. Let's do it now.
So, what are your thoughts on, and you know where I'm going, on the beings from above that have been flying around this planet, and let's say aliens, little people. We have a close friend. You know who he is, Reggie Randall.
Yeah,
he's a star seed. What are your thoughts on that?
It was funny because for the longest time I didn't quite understand what um, I'll just say aliens for lack of a better term. But then I know Ben Hansen, from Fact or Faked, all the shows on TV. And I had him on one of my radio shows and we were talking and um, Ben told me about his dad, and his dad was a man in black, basically. And then I got a little bit more, a little better idea of what aliens are. There is no way in this universe that we're the only ones with any knowledge or intelligence. It just can't be. You know, um, did God make us for one section of the universe, one section for the other, and not meeting? Well, some are better than the others. Some fly and some learn how to bend. Whatever it is, how they're here. But there are people from the other planets. I don't necessarily. It's just like some of us have lived previous lives. But in this life, I don't know if, and I'm not one to say it, but I don't personally believe in this life that you're an alien yet. I do believe that you've reincarnated again as a human this life, and that's what you're living. Yes, you might have a past. You might have been born there, and you remember that one the most, and but then again, some people remember being in Scotland and in the farm that they owned, so they remember that the most, and that was just a past life. You know what I mean? So there's those things that I think the majority of the cases are people living past lives if you're remembering it now. But we have infinite lives. We continue
Right.
to. We can decide not to come back. We can decide to go. We can decide to leave. We can decide, a lot in our lives. And I know with my strokes, I decided to stay, and that's why I'm here. And I know
Did
I've had.
when we all did the conventions in
Mhm.
Chicago,
Yeah,
did you know Chuck Kennedy?
I did know Chuck, and I've worked with Chuck, and it's sad to see him go because he had a lot of knowledge. He taught me and taught a lot of people. He helped a lot of kids out. I mean, Chuck was amazing. But Chuck knew if you were a real medium or not.
Yeah.
So Chuck told me I was a real medium, so I believed him.
Yeah,
But
you
he
know,
said because his studies were he hooked you all up, and then he said your memories are here, but it when he measured it when people were giving readings, they got their messages from back here or left side, this one.
he he did all that with me,
Yep.
and I met him through well, I met him through the shows,
Right.
and I always took a lot of time to talk with him because I'd always end up going over. I didn't know why I was going by him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was like I need it was supposed to be,
Right.
and I can remember Chuck. Uh, now I can't. How could I forget my old partner from GRS? But anyway, there's another Chuck, and we used to go out. We used to meet and go over to Dr. Chuck's place in St. Charles,
Right.
and we used to get together, and he would do all that with me, and it was like I couldn't believe half of the stuff. But I got to the point where we had already done a lot of the past lives, and we've done the Akashic records and that kind of thing. So I was very accepting of what he was telling me.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, we did past lives there. And we did, he asked me a couple times, he says, is there anything over there? Or where do you see something that's moving around? And then that's when he hooked me up and did the same thing. And I was the last one.
Okay.
And I really miss him.
Yeah.
I miss him as much as I miss a lot of other people that have been a teacher to me. You're a mentor. So, that's as high as you can go. Okay, I hate to tell you that. You're
Oh,
just a
dang it. I got expectations. Jeez. Now you're scaring me.
no, it's I don't call too many people that. I
Right.
think
I know.
you're one of
Appreciate
my
it.
mentors. And you're the
Right.
one that if I have something that happens and I need to have an answer and I can't get answered
You know, you
directly,
call me.
I
You
can
call
call
me
you
all
and,
hours of the night.
and you'll be over in the front of my house in the Ecto 22 and
Yep.
Lord only knows what'll happen. But that's the fun part about it.
Yeah. You know,
Chuck Williams. Thanks, Danny.
okay. That I
I
mean,
had a brain fart.
well, you had a Bidenism. I do that all the time. Yeah, I always do that. I always go, "Come on, man!" When I forget stuff because of my strokes, I always do it. So if you ever hear me do that, you know I'm doing to my Biden. Come on, man! I'm so, I don't know where I'm going, but that's the thing that I love the most is how many people I've met and how many wonderful souls there are out there. Um, it is a community. It is a family. It is about doing things together. It's not about doing things apart. I'm not saying everybody has to do the same thing. That's boring and dumb. But the more that we can grow from each other. I'm so tired of this location is our location. What does that mean? This location is not yours. It's the spirits. So if you want to work with them, then they can be there. But you know what I mean? My EVP is better than someone else's EVP. Now you're starting to talk like religion, and that's ridiculous because no religion is better than anyone else's. They all have bad parts and they all have good parts. It's just that we all tend to go in this whole thing. I guess the biggest thing that I've learned in my journey, in my spiritual journey, and I'm not always great at it either because I'm human, but is trying to live and do unconditional love because everybody is awesome for who they are, and everybody else can teach me something and everybody can learn from me. You know what I mean? It's all about us working together to grow and understand. It's not about I'm better than anyone else. I need to do this so I'm the best, or I get on TV, or I'm doing all this. It only comes if you're around. You know what I mean? I know that I was talking with Dave Schrader last week at an event, or 2 weeks ago at an event, and you know, Diet was, Diet too, don't you? And Diet was talking about how when she first met me, people were saying how mean I am. Yeah, and all this type of stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm not. And she goes, I know you're not, but she goes, that's what I was told. And she goes, just because people were jealous of you. And Dave says that happens. They go, when you kind of make it, people start talking bad about you because they don't want you to succeed. And to me, that is the worst thing to do. I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to be awesome. I'm like the Lego guy. Everything is awesome. I mean, I love that. Have some coffee and yay. But it is. It really is. And the more we can do that, the more we can. And the other thing that people don't do that kind of gets me, because you're getting me on the soapbox now. But the other thing that is people that don't take ownership of things they do. If you mess up, you messed up. Who cares? Learn from it, move on. It's not, there's nothing, and people always get mad at me for this, but even us killing somebody is a mistake in most cases. You know, even if it is, you're still forgiven. You know, God forgives you no matter what. You can always cross over. You can always be of love. You can be of love in heaven, because everybody has the right to cross over. So if you start looking at your life, that you have this wonderful life that you're here, the rules, because I'm a spiritualist, and I go by that faith. So my biggest thing is you make your own happiness or your own unhappiness. So if you're in a depression, it's because you're making your own unhappiness. Yes, you might need help to get out of it. Great. I mean, go see a psychiatrist, go see doctors. I mean, everybody needs it. But in the end, you've made it. You've decided that you're not good enough. You decided that something you did was so horrendous that you'll never be forgiven. But you're deciding that, not the universe, not God, not anyone else. You're deciding. And my God is not of the same God as the rest, that wants to punish people and send them to hell, because then there's no such thing as reincarnation. Because the more we live, the more we're of happiness, the better it is. So that's what I want everyone to do. I mean, if you look at, you got an infinite life, and that one thing you did wrong, shouldn't matter that much in this whole life. Yes, you did something wrong. You'll have that in life review. You'll have to go over it. You'll have to see the ripples of that, what you did, and how it messed people up. But in the end, you'll be forgiven, and you'll end up going to the other side. It's when, because that's how I always say, ghosts are people who have died and not crossed over to heaven. Spirits are the ones who have died and crossed over to heaven. So a ghost is because of your fault. You've decided. You have the right to decide. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's your fault. You've decided not to cross over. You've decided that earthly emotions, earthly greed, earthly revenge, or earthly money, or earthly possessions mean more to you than going to the other side and being of the one and being of happiness. And that's all right. You can be that, but then that's why you're a ghost. So,
Well said, very well said. See, Anthony says, he said, finally, I'm going to put this up here because I think there's people.
no, thank you, Anthony.
Finally, someone said it right.
It's so easy of a concept, but nobody thinks it. And I try to live it, and I don't do it well all the time. I just don't. Nobody does. Nobody ever will. I'm not. Hi,
There you
Kyle.
go.
I'm on a soapbox tonight, Kyle. That's what it is.
It's what we needed. Okay, that's
Right.
what I'm going to say, because there's times that most of these people that are in this chat happen to know Scotty. They're sort of, I'm not going to say use the word groupie, but they really like it. And Scotty is a great, he's, to me, he's my mentor. So like I said earlier, if you weren't here, and what we try to do is, I brought him on because Scotty always has a lot of positive things to say about situations that are happening with us and everybody else. And, it's great to see somebody like Scotty go
Yeah,
ahead and
thanks, Greg. I
cross
really
the-
appreciate that. But I do want to say one thing, though. I don't say positive just to say positive. I tell the truth. And if the truth hurts you, then so be it.
right.
Because you're making yourself live this crap.
Right. I just didn't. I just don't want him to go ahead and jump off a cliff.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, but that's what it is, and I appreciate everything you said, and I do speak positive because I think more people need to speak positive, and we need to be of that mindset daily, and in everything we do. And I think in relationships that's a big thing, and I think in friendships that's a big thing. I think that's a big thing at work. There's a lot of things that we do that we sabotage our own selves. We allow ourselves to live in this moment of sorrow or pity or you know what I mean, or and it just doesn't serve us.
Right.
It just doesn't serve us.
Well, I just saw that and I thought I'd better go ahead and bring it up.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But I mean, but I just don't want everybody to think that all I say is
Right.
happiness stuff, because I
No,
don't.
I understand.
Don't, not even close. I will
For
call you out.
everybody,
I will call you out for your shit in a moment. And it's because I'm just going to tell you like it is. And if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. I'm telling the truth. I don't lie. I never have and never will. I mean, I did early on in my life, but I don't anymore because I can't. As a psychic medium, I can't, because then I can't say that what comes to me just comes to me, and you always know that I'm just saying it. And a lot of times I'll say stuff that's pretty awful. I do that
now,
in.
in relationships, with your better half or whatever you want to call it, you got to go ahead and sometimes stretch the truth in order to go ahead and keep everything on the up and up, because otherwise,
Terry and I don't. Terry and I don't. We don't. I mean, I've accepted Terry for who she is. I'll never change her. She'll never change me. I accept her for everything that she does. I allow her to do anything she wants to do because I'm not here to control her. I just enjoy her more than anyone else in the world. That's why I want to be married to her. And that's the same way she feels on me. So when I there's only two reasons why we get pissed off at somebody. One is because they did something we didn't want them to do, or two, they did something that we didn't want them to do. That's it.
well spoken.
And it's both our expectations of that person. If we never put that expectation on them, we would never be disappointed with anyone.
I do have something I do want to mention to you after we get off the air.
Okay.
And actually, there's two things, because that other one that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long you want to stay on.
I'm on for whenever you want. If people got questions, I'm happy to answer.
If you guys, that's what I was going to do next.
Here all night. I don't care. I got nothing else to do. I got the day off tomorrow, so. And I've already missed Hogan's Heroes, so let's go.
Oh God, he's going to rub it in again.
Forever.
You know what Greg did? Oh gosh,
He made me miss Hogan's Heroes, for God's
right. Sake. I could hear it. I could hear it every time I'm going to run into you from now on.
It's coming.
You know what he did?
You don't know how much I love Greg. I mean, I gave up Hogan's Heroes for him. Woo.
Yeah, oh, you see? But anyway, anybody have any real nice questions for Scotty, please go ahead and add them. Put them in the chat, and we'll go ahead and mention it. I know that I can't remember his name, but the gentleman that was the bartender at Old Baraboo Inn that passed.
BC.
BC. Okay. Yep. and I don't know why I can't remember that.
Come on,
But
man.
you saw him right. You saw him shortly before, and he still was the same guy,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
And he's still the same guy now, so it's kind of cool. And it was really cool because he got to ride. So the Ectomobile, everyone, my Ecto 22 is a Dodge Grand Caravan that's changed into an Ecto. And everyone goes, "Oh, you should have a hearse." Well, my Dodge Grand Caravan is actually a hearse because it actually drove BC from the funeral home to the bar on his day of the funeral. He got to ride in there. We played the Ghostbusters siren all through town of Baraboo, and we threw the lights on, and he got to ride in the front seat of Ecto 22, and so yeah, so actually it is a hearse now, so we're all good, but yeah, no, BC has come through, and we've gotten EVPs from BC. The night of his thing, we did ghost hunts at Old Baraboo the night of his funeral, and somebody asked him on an EVP. They said, "Hey BC, we know you're here. So what's your favorite TV show?" And within just like this, he goes Gunsmoke, and Gunsmoke was his favorite show. Like just like I love Hogan's Heroes, he loves Gunsmoke. So boom, and he said it on the EVP, and we have that to the day. So we know that he still lives. You know, we still know. And then I don't know if you know Dave Sticka. He was
Yes.
yeah, he just passed away too. And
He was the big guy. He was the big guy, right?
yep, the big guy, Dave. Yeah,
The
and
real soft spoken.
yeah, he's with Psychics Unite. Yeah, he passed away, and um, his celebration of life is the Sunday. Yeah, but what was really cool, the night of Psychics Unite, Terry went there, and Dave's parking spot. He always parked in the one right across the way from Terry. And that first night, and Terry didn't know he passed. All of a sudden, Terry had this feeling that Dave was right there in that parking spot, and she goes, "Hi, Dave," and she just walked by, just kind of like because she thought, thinking of Dave. Then she realized that he passed, and she goes, "Holy crap, Dave talked to me." I said, "Yep, Dave talked to you." So we, it's so neat when we know that spirits live on, and that we can talk with them, and they want us to tell their story. And I always talk about story. That's another big thing for me, is because these souls are trying to tell their stories. They're trying to be remembered. They want their history, they want their story told, and that's the best term for it. um, a lot of times though, I mean, for us, they'll come back to help us because they know we're effing up our story. We shouldn't be going out with that person, or we shouldn't be drinking as much, or we shouldn't be doing this, or we shouldn't be doing this, or we need to do this instead of this. And so in readings, that's what I give a lot, is I give those circumstances, like you shouldn't be doing this, maybe you should be doing that, because that's what spirit really wants, is to correct you, make a change in your life immediately, so you don't have to live the rest of your life being ridiculous, I guess is the best word, because we do. We want to live in this. We want to live in this sorrow, and I don't understand it.
So do you have angels with you?
I have my spirit team with me all the time. Now,
Right.
I'm not. I'm a recovering Catholic, so that's what I always call myself. So I don't necessarily believe angels necessarily, because I don't believe in hell, and I don't believe in demons. Don't believe in them. But angels in the case are spirit guides, or beings that have never incarnated on earth. I will give that. But like I call spirit guides angels, because that's the easiest thing for me, in the same way, because they're here our entire lives. I have my spirit guide's name is Steve. He was from Greece, and Steve's amazing because we were married in a previous life. I was his wife, and he thought enough of me that when I wanted to come and be a male in this life, which I don't want to do anymore, um, but he stuck with me, and so we always have one spirit guide that is our main guide that we never met on Earth. We never knew him here on Earth. We only knew him in the spirit world, and we both made a pact that we'd be together the entire time, because they come with you before you're born to when you pass. So there's other spirit guides that come throughout your life. You got family members, like my dad's a spirit guide. I have Mother Ayahuasca, because I did ayahuasca, which is the psychedelic drug. That's what we call it, but the Peru shamans and that stuff call it medicine. And I had a ceremony, and I took the medicine for 2 days, and it was probably the most amazing journey when you put the 2 days together, out of anything. And someday we can talk about it, because I could talk about that for hours. Because it was an incredible night. The first night was totally the worst night of my life. The second night was the best night of my life. You put the two together, it was an amazing journey. But when I was there, I heard from the spirits that guide you through ayahuasca, because you're guided. It's a guided trip. And Mother Ayahuasca came to me and said, "Welcome home." So she's been with me ever since. So I know that I was a Peruvian shaman in a previous life.
See, Brandon was that with the Native Americans.
There you go.
Dakotas. Yep.
And then my spirit animal is Grizz. He's a grizzly bear. He always punches me in the head to make sure I do things right. But yeah, that's my spirit team. They're always with me. But we've gotten to a point where I don't even need to. Let me word this correctly. I don't need to protect myself anymore, because they do it for me. They do it. They make sure that when I wake up in the day, I'm ready to go. Yeah. So.
Okay. On that note, if we don't have any questions,
all right,
let's go ahead and close.
All right.
Thank you very much, Scotty, for being here.
Thank you very much, Scotty.
Scotty, it was awesome. Honest to God, I enjoy this. When I have shows like this, I'm comfortable and I enjoy talking because I know you, and it means a lot to me. And I know your dad, when he stops by, means a lot to me. And your boys mean a real lot to me. It's Terry does. But when the night we were all together and we were in that last parade, and we were getting ready to leave, and there was a train coming through, I knew that Bones really liked trains.
Yep.
And he went up, and I went up with him, and we were talking about trains. And I want to mention, so that you can tell him, and I don't know if you've seen it or not, but that big locomotive that's been on, not the news, but it's been on Facebook. It's got 8 big drive wheels. It's the biggest one ever.
Right.
It's coming here somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, if he gets to see that, this one's as big, if not bigger, than the one up in Duluth.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
so
we rode the one in Duluth, yeah.
Yeah, that one used to haul iron ore.
Right.
And that's a monster. So it's something, if you mention it to Bones and say, hey, this is something that.
Yeah, let us know when it comes. Come on down. I'll bring him down.
Yeah, that's for sure.
He would love it.
And as soon as we get a chance to do anything up by you, I can't wait.
That'd be great.
Okay, and thanks again for everything you've done for me, and then all the people that are in here that know you. You know, you've always been great for everybody, and that's the biggest part of you being here, is because you have always given, and that's the best that anybody can do.
Well, thank you.
And I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So everybody in the chat, thank you very much for being here, and we'll see you guys all later on. Good night, and I'm just gonna end it.
Enjoy the steering wheel in your pants.
I